Good morning to you all, good morning. It is Wednesday, mercredi, the 22nd of July 2020. Yeah, I've just had a short walk round the garden. Look at this delightful. This I was given last year for my birthday, and yeah, what a lovely thing, and that will give pleasure for many years to come, whereas of course these will give food for a few days. But that's very pleasing. But there's something that I want to show you, and we're going to have to go for a short walk across the grounds. Now, not quite in front of the end of the impasse, just slightly to the right is a house owned by a lady called Françoise, and she's delightful. And her front garden has got a rose that just grows and grows and grows and grows, and she's only a little short lady, so last year I said, would you like me to just nip those bits out? And I did, and last October I cut some of them to length and dibbed them in the ground, and yeah, left them to do their own thing. And we come to one of them where I've transplanted it, and that's got some lovely buds coming in it, and then we come to this one. Isn't that just delightful? A cutting that I cut it knowing that I was going to take some cuttings from it, but a very minor favour for a neighbour, very minor, 30 seconds work, but again that will give pleasure to many people, hopefully for many years to come, and it certainly gave me pleasure this morning to see it. Well, it's getting warm already, which is lovely, unless of course you are lugging bits of timber about. But there we are. I've run a tape across this roof at various places. These, I've just taken these from the roof of the Skoda, and they come as 4 metre lengths. Well, I didn't want to lug a 4 metre length up here, so I put a measure across the where the ceiling is going to go, and the first thing that immediately hits is this building hasn't got a straight line on it. So each one has to be measured, cut, fitted. This isn't one of those sort of modern mass-produced jobs where everything is exactly dead spit. So I cut them to 3.5 metres to lug them up here. And I've just rested them there. I'm going to have a cup of tea. Yeah, but there we are. That's something to do on Wednesday, which is the feast day of Mary Magdalene. Don't know how many of you read that this morning. Here in France, it makes me smile a little bit. There was a series of laws passed that absolutely segregate church from state. Some say that's a good thing. Some say it isn't, but some say it's a good thing. But all of the calendars that you get have a little note on them saying what church, what religious festival it is. And today is the memorial feast for Mary Magdalene. You know the girl. She's the girl who found the place where there should have been a body laying, and of course there wasn't. Well, it's been a good day, very good day. I'm going to tell you a little sad tale though. When I first arrived, I wanted a spade. And I wanted a spade to mix concrete with and to dig holes and all that sort of stuff that chaps like me seem to spend a lot of time doing. And I bought this incredibly cheap spade. Now there's the clue. When you look at spades and they're all sort of €32, €45, the really good ones with the cushioned handles and all that sort of stuff, €60. And at the end of the rack there's one that is €9.42. You do know that you're not buying quality. So because of what was going on right at that time in history, I bought the cheapest. And let's be honest, it did a lot of work. It's dug flower beds, it's dug vegetable patches, it's mixed a fair bit of concrete. And then the handle broke, and I went back to the shop and I bought another handle, which was about €7.30. And I fitted the new handle, and I did some more work, mixed some more concrete, so on and so forth, and then I broke the handle. Now, in so doing, I learnt lots of different words, and I don't mean those words you can't say in church. I mean words like beche and pelle and such like, the different words for different sorts and shapes of spade. Anyway, I went back to the shop today. I went for other things, but while I was there, I looked along the rack, and yeah, they've got spades for 35, 40, 50, €60, and at the end of the rack, no handles, but just the complete spade for very sillily small amounts of money. So I thought, oh, hang it, we'll get one because I need it to mix concrete and such like. Then, as I was digging the hole here, trying to get the roots of some of the weeds out before I put some fresh dirt in, and I'm going to plant a rose and an apricot and a rose and an apricot because I can. And I read the label. Now we've all had a bit of a giggle about Go On, and I read this very carefully. It's a beche sans par quadrada, assembled in France, guaranteed for 5 years. Guaranteed for 5 years. And then I read what the guarantee is: 5 years in normal usage. Oh, and the handle is excluded from the guarantee. And then we find it's assembled and imported by Spear and Jackson. You remember Spear and Jackson, a very good Sheffield-based company that used to make the best saws in the world. And now they're buying in these sort of cheap, cheerful things, assembling them in France. Do wonder how much assembly work goes in. You know, you sort of stick the handle in the socket and whack a screw in it, I suppose. But yeah, there's a thing. Anyway, I'm confident this will do me a lot of work, and I'm also confident that I'm going to sharpen the end of the handle on that and stick it back in the hole and carry on using that one as well. Chap can't have too many spades in his life. But if any of you can remember when my birthday is, you know, if you want to spend €62, one of the really nice spades with the cushioned handles and the shock absorbing stocks, yeah, that would be wonderful. This ground, of course, at this time of year, you need a road drill to get into it, or you put a lot of water in before you start to dig. Anyway, the tomatoes are doing nicely. Some tomatoes turn red. These are yellow tomatoes. Taste like tomatoes, they're just yellow. I'm sort of waiting to see what happens with the little black ones. I'm told they don't actually turn black. They're a dark bluey sort of colour. But that will be interesting. Anyway, that was the feast day of St Mary Magdalene, and also my grandma's birthday.